So, of course, following the IG promo was Friday Night SmackDown, and to kick things off, we had a promo from the Bloodline and Roman Reigns. Or at least they tried to have a promo. So, when Roman and the Bloodline made it down to the ring, of course, Roman tried to get the Glendale crowd to acknowledge him up to even a third time, and by the time he got to that third time, he was getting annoyed and, of course, showed it with his facial expressions. And then he turned around and said that on the third time, if they didn't acknowledge him properly, because they were booing him the whole time mostly, that he was just going to leave and be done with the show already. And that's nothing new. He doesn't really show up as it is. So before Roman could leave, Paul Heyman stopped him and told him to wait a second for The Rock to make it down to the ring, basically, and join him so they could discuss with the crowd the plans of the Bloodline. Roman didn't basically have enough promo to even keep out there without having Heyman make them go to commercial break. So they went to a whole commercial break just for The Rock to get out there. I don't know how I feel about that one. So along with that, we got The Rock calling Cody Rhodes a boy and denying his request for a match before WrestleMania, saying that, you know, he's the boss, you can't just walk up to him and have a match whatever you want, you know, typical Rock ego on that one. But then, of course, when The Rock got out there, we got all his usual stuff, you know, the name calling of the Cody Crybabies, and, you know, going as far as even calling the women, you know, crackhead Karens and methhead Marys and all kinds of stuff. He was, you know, like I said, his usual deal, name calling. He also, with that, interestingly, placed a counteroffer on the table for them, which was to have a tag team match, him and Roman, versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, of course, at WrestleMania. The catch, though, was with that, if somehow Cody won, of course, that he would get his way at WrestleMania and Seth would too, and the Bloodline would be out of whatever they were doing. But if Rock and Roman won, then it'd be the opposite effect, and Bloodline invasion all across the board on WrestleMania night 1 and 2. So that made it pretty interesting. The Rock tried to end the promo, and before he could, Roman stopped him and actually said something in a matter of that they were family and that he needed a favor from him. So, of course, The Rock asked him what? The favor was to acknowledge him as Tribal Chief. He wanted The Rock to acknowledge him as the Tribal Chief. Yeah. You know, The Rock kind of did think on it a little bit, but in the end, of course, he gave in and told his cousin, you know, he was the Tribal Chief and basically the head of the table, and the crowd did not like that response. For, I don't know, for a good 30 seconds or a minute, telling him that he sold out to Roman. That was pretty crazy. Then we had, of course, revenge match from Dakota Kai and Bayley getting back at the Kabuki Warriors, you know, Asuka and Kairi Sane, for the events in recent weeks. So as this is going on, you know, Bayley was on a good run and goes to tagging Dakota Kai in the match. And when she decides to tag Dakota Kai in the match, as I was kind of predicting, I'm sure a lot of other people were, Dakota Kai turned her back, of course, and tricked Bayley once again, and now Bayley's by herself. Okay. Of course, we got the Luchador Libre beef going on of Legado del Fantasma and Order going back and forth. So all this brought on a one-on-one match on SmackDown this last Friday of Carlito and Santos Escobar in a street fight. And this was a pretty good back and forth in the street fight. Carlito even brought out a few of the, of course, traditional apples to try to spit in Santos' face, but Santos was getting back up too quick for Carlito to really do anything, at least at first. So, of course, this match, being a street fight, was a no disqualification match. And that didn't take long for Angel and Humberto to go down there and help Santos try to jump Carlito. That was until, of course, Cruz del Toro and Hakeem Wilde came down and helped Carlito on his end. And that was not the only two people that came down to help. So following Hakeem Wilde and Cruz del Toro going down in the ring to help Carlito, we actually had the return of everyone's favorite luchador, Rey Mysterio. And I didn't know how to feel because he came down there on crutches. When he was making his way down with the crutches, of course, Angel and Humberto made their way through Cruz and Hakeem Wilde to go to him, and he tricked them and started beating them with the crutches, so that was pretty hilarious to watch. Carlito and the LWO ended up winning. That was a hell of a match. I definitely glad to watch that. And then we had a pretty funny promo from Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. They've been doing a lot of funny promos lately, and they were in the locker room watching highlights of Randy Orton getting knocked out by Logan Paul with the brass knuckles, right? And as they were doing that, guess who crept up behind them? None other than Randy Orton. And he was not happy about that. So when he caught them watching this video, he sat there for a second, and before he started laughing, and then as soon as he laughed, they both looked like they saw a ghost after that happened. And proceeds to tell them to keep on watching, being a smartass, and even gets mad and goes, well, which one of you wants to fight me first? And of course, Grayson Waller backed out and volunteered Austin, just like he did at Elimination Chamber, pretty much. So this led to Randy Orton and Austin Theory having a one-on-one match as the main event on SmackDown. LA Knight as well, looking for his revenge on AJ Styles after AJ Styles ran up in the chamber with a chair and his finishing move, the Styles Clash, and used it on LA Knight, of course. So LA Knight spent most of the night looking for him until Nick Aldis confronted LA Knight and told LA Knight that he sent AJ home on purpose. And this led to LA Knight saying that he would go find him at home if he had to. So the final match of the night, of course, was Austin Theory and Randy Orton, and surprisingly, special commentator Kevin Owens. And KO, just for record, was doing a decent job of commentating, but he also was trying to keep an eye on Grayson Waller, of course, because he's a Randy Orton fan, been a long time Randy Orton fan, he said, and he was not going to play games with Grayson Waller interfering with one of his favorite wrestlers' matches. But of course, Grayson Waller tries to get involved, but none of it mattered because when Austin tried to go hit his blockbuster on Randy, thinking Randy was out of it, of course Randy hits him with the RKO and ends the match. This causes Grayson to get upset and try to jump Randy. Kevin Owens really did not like that and left the announcer table, hopped all the way into the ring, and held Randy Orton and beat the snot out of both Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. So that was good. Randy has some backup on that one. Are they going to be like a tag team or something? I could see that happening. That'd be pretty cool. Thanks for watching another episode, guys. Until next time, of course. Peace out.